Hello, welcome to the Love Heals Method. I'm Sophia Rose, and I'm really happy that you're joining me here today in this fifth video of my 7-part video series, Heart Centered Chakra Healing for Women. And I teach women how to holistically heal their bodies, their relationships, their lives with the power of love, starting with self-love and divine love. And I do this through my unique chakra healing, heart-centered chakra healing coaching with the emphasis on the heart chakra, also through my book, Secrets of the Empowered Woman, and my divine love numerology readings. So I am excited and happy to be here today as usual as we move up into the fifth chakra, which is in your throat, often called the throat chakra. Last week we did that video, or I did the video, recorded it, and posted the video on healing your heart chakra, which is, as I said, the most significant chakra and what we focus on in this, what I focus on in my chakra healing system, because it is love that heals us on every level and in every part of our life, starting with self-love as well as our connection to divine love. So the heart chakra is very connected to, we're going to be still talking about the heart today when we're talking about healing the throat chakra, because they're very close and very interconnected. So what I wanted to start with is just to tell you what this chakra is about. It's about communication. Oh, and I do have my notes in my glasses. When I do these longer kind of teaching videos, I may need to sneak a peek at my notes. But the heart, or the throat chakra, is about communication, speaking your truth, right? And this takes well, courage, but it also takes self-love. You can see how the love is important to be able to do that. This is about being honest with your feelings and expressing your true feelings and your true thoughts. This chakra is also about being honest. It's about honest and integrity. It's about keeping your word. And it's not just about speaking. Communication is also about listening, right? So it's about deep listening. And when you do all of these things, when you speak your truth, when you are true to yourself, when you communicate your truth from your heart, which is what I'm going to emphasize and we're going to talk about in a bit, this creates harmony. Okay, it creates a harmonious energy around you in your energy field. And the essence, or I'm sorry, what's the word for it? I'm forgetting. The element of this chakra is sound, vibration. So it has to do with harmony. Remember, the first chakra was the earth, the second chakra, water, the third, fire, the fourth, air, related to breathing. This one is about sound. So you want your energy to be harmonious, and that takes being true to yourself. So, and truthful with your communication. All right, so now what are some of the signs? These are signs that will let you know that you do need to do some healing in your fifth chakra, your throat chakra, which is of course in the center of your throat. If you have difficulty putting your feelings or your thoughts into words, in other words, if you just have difficulty expressing, truthfully expressing your thoughts and feelings, especially your feelings, that's a sign you need healing in this chakra. If you have difficulty allowing yourself to be vulnerable, which is very connected to and about, expressing your true, honest feelings, that's another sign. If you tell any kind of lies, if you're not honest with yourself, if you're lying to yourself or you're lying to other people, that's what puts you out of harmony, out of balance here. If you don't keep your word also. And if you're not being true to yourself. And the physical signs would be if you have any challenges with your neck, with your throat, with your glands, your tonsils, your mouth, your teeth, your ears, your voice, your vocal cords, and your thyroid, any issues with your thyroid. Those are all indications that you need some healing in your throat chakra or your fifth chakra. Okay, I'm going to put my notes glasses on for a minute. Oh, I knew I was forgetting something. Yes, if you also, other signs are that if you have any difficulty speaking up, fears about speaking up, fears about setting boundaries. And the other thing this chakra is about, it's about not just communicating with other people, which is called interpersonal communication, but it's also about communicating how you communicate with yourself, which is called intra communication. Okay. How you communicate. What is your self-talk like? If your self-talk is negative, if you're critical of yourself, you need to do some healing with your throat chakra, okay? And, or if you're critical of others as well, critical of yourself or of others. Okay, see if I have all the symptoms. Right, another one is if you're not a good listener and you are just unwilling to listen to someone else's point of view, to hear things from their perspective, that's a sign you need some healing here. And just basically when it comes to expressing your feelings, it would be you either hold everything in, maybe blow up later, but a lot of times just hold things in, or you communicate with judgment, with criticism, with blame. Okay. All of those are signs that you need to work on healing your throat chakra, your fifth chakra. Okay. So how do we do this? Okay. So the first thing is you need to bring self-love here, right? You need to change, become aware when you notice that unloving self-talk, change it to loving talk as you would talk to a loving friend, right? You need to bring and all the chakras are connected. So we talked about loving your body, being present and grounded in your body. Bringing love to that first chakra is going to help you feel safe, right? You have to feel safe to be able to communicate your truth. So safe within yourself and secure. So you work on the love in that first chakra, healing that one. Then the second chakra with your emotions, your needs, your feelings, all that vulnerability, sexuality. You want to bring love to that so that you are, and tune in so you're aware of what your thoughts and needs and feelings are. So then you can express it to people, right? You have to, and with the third chakra, loving yourself there, you have to remind yourself or know that you have a right to express how you feel, how you think. You have a right to say no. You can set boundaries. And when you communicate them, you can communicate them. Remember I said you can communicate boundaries with love? Well, now we're up to the throat chakra. You're going to communicate and express all of your feelings with love, right? Including boundaries. Okay, so that's the second thing. So the first thing is practicing self-love in all of the chakras. Now, specifically for this chakra, because if you do that with the first four, you're going to have a much easier time communicating your truth with love in the fifth chakra. You want to learn and practice what I call empowered, loving communication skills and speaking from your heart, just speaking from the energy of love. Because people, it's yes, it's very important what you say, the words, and there's all kinds of techniques that I can teach you, skills that are very effective, and it's very important how you say things, the words you use, all of that. But also it's very important, equally as important, what is the energy that you're communicating those words with? Where is that coming from? Where are you coming from? What's underneath your words? Okay, which we are going to talk about in just a bit. But I want you want to be communicating with the energy of love, right? Not fear. So when you are too emotionally triggered, what happens is you are in an emotionally reactive place, and you will most likely communicate with fear, okay, or from a place of fear, not love. You may be trying to get love, empathy, or understanding from the other person, but good luck with that. Okay, if you're communicating coming from fear, and which means that you will be judging, blaming, and criticizing them, it's not going to go very well. You're not going to get the understanding, the empathy, or the love that you want. Okay, usually, unless that person's very conscious and evolved and in a very good place right at that moment themselves, and could see what's underneath what you're saying. So you what this sounds like, or what this looks like when you're emotionally reacting and communicating from fear, is you're communicating with the criticism, judgment, blame, attacking, trying to make the other person feel guilty, making the other person wrong, nagging, whining, trying to change the other person, trying to control, all coming from fear. And you're definitely not in your power. You're not an empowered woman at that point, or communicating like an empowered woman. You are in your power. We as women are in our power. I'm going to include myself in here. When we are communicating from a grounded, centered, calm, and loving place, a truthful place, when we are speaking our truth from our heart, from the energy of love. Okay? Now, that to communicate without all of those things that I just mentioned, the criticism, judgment, blame, requires that you are vulnerable. You allow yourself to be vulnerable, because it's vulnerable. True vulnerability is having an open heart and expressing how you feel, what you need, what you want, versus criticizing and trying to focusing on the other person, right? And that is not weakness. Okay, a lot of people think, oh, that's weak. That's strength. That takes strength. That takes courage. Because when we express ourselves, well, it may not, someone may reject us, someone may not like it, someone may abandon us, go away. Who knows? That's what we're afraid of, right? We may lose them. That's another fear women have. If I speak up, if I tell my truth. And what we do, some women do, is they lose themselves. They don't want to lose the other person, but they lose themselves, which is going to have a big negative effect, most likely, on your throat chakra, your relationship, and your whole life. So, let me put my glasses on here and just make sure I am on track. Okay, yes, I am. So, basically, I can teach, as I said, you can learn communication skills. I'm going to give you one right now. I'm going to give you an example because I want to share one. But there's a lot more to it than that with your heart, which I'll talk about after I share this skill with you. So I'm going to share with you before I say this, there's so many different kinds of relationships, so many different kinds of scenarios. And so that's where I work with women individually, or when I teach classes, people can give me specific examples, like how should I communicate this, or what would be the best way, and da da da. Here, I can only give you a general example. Okay. So this is assertive. You hear a lot about assertive communication. So what is that, right? That is saying how you feel, what you think, what you want. If someone is doing something you don't like, and this is I'm going to use the example of setting a boundary here with assertive communication, and you can do this with love, like I said, and from your heart. So there's 3 steps to it. The first thing is, and I'm going to give you an example, but the first thing is that you show empathy, validation, and appreciation first before you communicate, right? The second part is you're going to describe the behavior of the person, what they did, maybe that you didn't like or want, and the key is how you feel or felt about it, okay? And then the third stage or step is you ask them for what you want. Tell them what you want instead, right? So an example would be, say your partner is really tired. He doesn't really want to go to a social event with you, to this party, but he does. He goes with you. He knows you want him to go with you. He knows you want him to go with you. And but at the event, because he's kind of grumpy, and there's other people there at the dinner, and you do something that irritates him, and he snaps at you and kind of raises his voice at you in front of other people. And you didn't like that. Didn't feel good, right? So you can communicate by saying, that was really insensitive, or you can talk with him there later and just start with the you messages, the criticisms, the blame. You don't have to be vulnerable, right? It's not going to go very well. But if you say, this is the first part, right? I know you've been under a lot of stress lately. I know you really didn't want to come to this party. I really appreciate that you did. See, that's all the empathy, appreciation. That's going to open up most people to hear the rest of what you have to say. In a better space they'll be in. And then, I know you've been in a lot of stress. I really appreciate you came. And that's a really key word. You don't want to say but or however, because that kind of negates what you just said. So say and, because they're both true. When you raised your voice at me and snapped at me in front of our friends and the other people, I felt really uncomfortable. I felt hurt. I felt uncomfortable. Third step, in the future, if you're upset, you're grumpy, just, pull me aside, speak to me in private, or, really be honest with me and let me know that you don't want to go to the event. And if, I'll understand if you want to stay home. Something along those lines. I really love you. I really wanted you to come, and I'm so appreciative that you came. And, but I understand, if you can't the next time, whatever it is. But you see how those are the 3 steps. Okay, that's a communication tool. That's an effective way of communicating a need or a want or an assertive kind of boundary. But what I want you to know when you are done with this video, okay? Because I could teach a whole class on communication skills, but I don't have time to do that. I want to give you something practical here that you can do, and that is just as important as what I just talked about, the techniques or the tools or the skills, and that is communicating from your heart. Okay? Communicating from your heart. I'm going to throw my glasses on one more time. People feel and respond to the energy underneath your words and what you're saying. That's what they feel and are responding to. Yes, they respond to the words too. Those are important, but they're also responding to the energy and where you're coming from underneath those words. Okay. So if you want to experience more love, more intimacy, more harmony, if you want to resolve conflict, too, you want to come from your heart and from the energy of love. You want to communicate not from your head, but from your heart. That's where you want to speak your truth. Okay. So the question is, how do you do that? Right? And that's what I want to share, because it's quite simple. But let me check my notes one more time. Yeah, okay, I got it all. Basically, I want to be sure I said this right, because it's really important. Whether you are listening to someone also, or you're speaking, someone you care about, right? You simply want to bring your awareness, your attention, a part of your awareness and your attention into your heart. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So that is what you do. You bring your attention into your heart while you're speaking. I have part of my attention and awareness in my heart while I'm doing these videos, because I really, my heart really wants you to learn and practice these things, because I'm passionate about it, right? And it's a sense, I'm coming from a place of love, right? That's what you want, okay? So you if you're not used to being, because most of us are talking heads, we're talking from the head. If you're not used to having a part of your awareness in your heart, it can take some practice. And what can help is if you place a hand on your heart. If it's in a really important conversation, place a hand on your heart as you speak to them. It's going to help you to speak from your heart. When you speak from your heart, when you have part of your energy there from love rather than fear, it changes your voice, your energy, and as I said, people will feel it. Okay, so that's what you want. You'll be amazed. Sometimes all you have to do is listen, not even say a word when someone's talking, and switch from listening to them from your head to your heart, and they'll feel that, and they'll soften up, and things will shift. It's truly amazing. Practice this. Maybe you can practice with your friends. Okay. And so this is what you need to do to heal and balance this chakra. You need to love yourself enough to speak your truth. You are here, right, to speak your truth with love for yourself and with love for others. Right? You are here to express your authentic self. You are here to be your true self, not someone else. Okay? When you speak your truth and share your honest, true, deep feelings with love, the people that resonate with you, that love you unconditionally and accept you, are going to stay and remain in your life and continue to love you. If someone goes away because you're being true to yourself and expressing your true, honest feelings, then they're not meant to be in your life anymore. Okay? So don't lose yourself. Don't give yourself up and give yourself away, because it's never going to work. The relationship won't work. Won't be a healthy relationship or a fulfilling relationship long term, because you won't be there who you really are, right? And you can't grow close and intimate with someone if you're not sharing and being who you really are. That's why you're here. You're a unique woman with unique feelings, with unique emotions and unique thoughts, and everything is about your unique soul essence, as I said. So be who you are, express who you are, have the courage to be vulnerable and notice, become aware of any time you're communicating from fear, a fearful, reactionary place, an emotionally reactive place, which I shared with you how you know that. You're judgment, criticism, blame, whining, nagging, trying to control and change. Catch yourself. Believe me, this takes practice. I teach this and I have to always practice it. So just being aware of this makes you a more empowered woman, okay? So most people aren't even aware of this. So it takes the practice, and you can change and bring yourself and shift from that fear to love in a moment. And you may need more than a few moments. You may say, I need to pause. I need to go, by myself for a while. I need to check in and say, what am I feeling? What am I needing? As I taught you, remember, and we talked about in Chakra 2. And then express how you feel. I cannot tell you from your heart, with love, how much this changes and heals and improves relationships with my clients when I just share and they try this out. And I also help them a little bit with the words and how to say things. I'm not saying that's not important, but it's that intention, that energy underneath it, as I said, that people really feel and respond to. So I really hope this was helpful to you and that you can put this into practice. If you have any questions, if you need any help in any way, please go to my website. Go there even if you don't need help. It's a great place to go. You can get a free downloadable guided meditation that goes through all of your chakras. It's a beautiful companion to my book, but you don't even have to have the book to listen to the guided meditation. I have other guided meditations. The book I really highly recommend as well. I go into communication in the fifth chakra there a lot more, talk about the difference between healthy and unhealthy vulnerability. And please know you can also do a free 30-minute coaching consultation with me if you are unsure about whether I can help you or not, or you have some questions. Basically, I'm here to help you in any way I can. I'm sending you so much love and many healing blessings. And next week, you don't want to miss the next chakra, chakra 6. This is going to be super important also. And I'm looking forward to seeing you then. So take care. Until next time. Bye for now. Oh, remember to subscribe to my channel and like this video and share it with your friends. Appreciate it so much. It'll help me to reach more women.